Today is the 6th anniversary of Undertale, and considering that this game has had a pretty big impact on... Can I say gaming as a whole? I mean, everyone knows who the Funny Skeleton Man is, so I'd assume so. Undertale was an influential game for all sorts of fronts. In the indie corner of the internet, it started a boom of devs who wanted to be just like it, as well as more than a few fan games that never panned out. In the RPG front, it was new and exciting, and it opened up a new option for those who disliked the usual violence in RPGs. It was funny, a mix of retro-style graphics, funny dialogue, a pretty fun bullet hell experience akin to Touhou Project, and some really good music. And for today, that's the important part, the music. Many people fell in love with Undertale's soundtrack, and for a good reason. The soundtrack is amazing. Many of the songs are iconic, many of them being the favorite of one person or another, and I think one of the coolest things of Undertale's soundtrack is the way it manages to manipulate our emotions. Our emotions and our feelings through the music. Hello everyone, CompleteIndie here, and this is Undertale and how it uses leitmotifs. Before we dive into this, however, spoilers for Undertale. It's a really good game, and it's definitely worth playing without spoilers, so I advise you to go play the game first, and then come back to this video, if you haven't already. So, by now, you might notice that many of the songs in Undertale's soundtrack are similar, but in case you don't, Undertale's soundtrack, which consists of exactly 100 songs officially speaking, utilizes a lot of similar patterns. Arguably, one of the simplest, most obvious examples of this is Papyrus's overworld theme, and his battle theme, Bone Trousel. Both songs are pretty similar, as you can hear here. Both songs utilize the same melody, and while these two are perhaps a bit particularly close, the same principle applies to pretty much all of Undertale's soundtrack. This is a leitmotif, or a reoccurring musical piece associated with a particular person, place, or idea. And Undertale uses this to its fullest. In the final boss of the neutral route, Asgore, we hear many reoccurring melodies in his battle theme, Asgore. Not the most creative name. You can hear Toriel's boss theme, Heartache, as well as the game over theme, Determination. Both of them are worked into Asgore's battle theme, and this thematically makes sense. We managed to establish a new home that Toriel and Asgore were once a happy couple, happily married. And so Asgore still has some of Toriel's theme because, at the end of the day, he still loves her. Toriel, meanwhile, doesn't have any of this motif, partly because it wasn't introduced, and partly because she doesn't love Asgore anymore. And the game over theme, which some players will hear a lot before getting to Asgore, and then most players will hear before beating him, serves as a motivator for you to keep playing, for you to stay determined. Asgore's theme is made up of his theme, Toriel's theme, and the game over theme, and it works so well because of that. That alone, even if you skimmed through all the text and were focusing solely on the music for some reason, would give away who Asgore is connected to through just the audio alone. A similar effect is actually used with the second song in the whole OST, Your Best Friend. Take a moment to listen to it. Here we meet Flowey. This song plays and he's seemingly scared off by Toriel and no longer a threat. The end, he's gone. But he's not. When we meet him so much later in the game as the real final boss of the neutral route, Photoshop Flowey, we first have to survive an onslaught of attacks. And then, when it calms down for a moment, we go to rescue the 6 human souls. And it plays again. It's different, yes. Distorted, yes. But it's your best friend, no doubt about it. And when it plays, you get a sense of nostalgia for the start of the game, and it perfectly serves as a bookend. At the start of the game you meet Flowey, and at the end of the game you meet Flowey. Except you're not winning yet. Yet. Once you've rescued the 6 human souls and they start helping you, you can hear it. Your best friend, except this time, it's hopeful, because you, the player, you can win this. And usually players win this fight. But there is also a section in Finale that doesn't belong to Flowey. Missed it? It's hard to hear. Really hard to hear. Incredibly so. But the bells in Finale in that section play the same song, Memory. This song is also used earlier in the titular song, Undertale, the song that plays when you walk through New Home, to tell the story of the now fallen Azrael Dreamer. If you've played Undertale, you probably know where this is going. This leitmotif, which is either called his theme or occasionally memory, depending who you ask, is the theme of Azrael Dreamer, the royal prince who fell long ago. And as we learn, Azrael, after his death, became Flowey thanks to Alfie's experiments. So when we properly battle Azrael Dreamer and we hear his theme playing, we tie it back to the story. We subconsciously tie it back to Finale, because ultimately Flowey's Finale and Azrael's memory belong to the same character. And this line is full and properly blurred in hopes and dreams. While Azrael's on screen, you hear your best friend for one of the last times in the whole game. Ultimately, I really could use any other example. One I particularly like is Death by Glamour, utilizing Mettaton's 2 themes, as well as the location theme core, which has its own musical importance. You can actually click the card in the corner for a purely musical comparison, no voiceover, if you're interested. But for the sake of this video, I think I'm going to keep it short and I think I'm going to leave it there. This is a simple example that properly showcases how leitmotifs are used through Undertale. You can find pretty much the same idea for pretty much every song in the game. Almost every song in the whole game can be connected to another solely through the musical composition, and these connections are usually also plot related in some way or another as well. I hope you all enjoyed this short video. I've got a bunch of cool stuff planned to close off the year and a ton of cool stuff planned for 2022, so please stand by. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, it's a wonderful idea to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It would help out a ton. Also consider checking out these videos, ones the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like, and my most recent. Until we meet again, ciao.